Hey, Sean,
Hey, Bernie.
how you doing?
I'm doing good. Excited to be here.
Yeah, we're excited as well. It's such a cool place being in Festival Park, which we'll get into in just a moment. But first, let's remind everyone we're here on Castle Rock Generations, where we remember the past, we embrace the present, and we imagine the future. So Sean and I are here today at the end of May 2025 at Festival Park, which is affectionately called the crown jewel of downtown Castle Rock. We're going to talk a little bit about the history of Festival Park, what it used to look like. What you see today is what we call the new Festival Park, introduced to Castle Rock just a few short years ago. We'll talk about what it used to look like, what it used to look like even before then when Sean was growing up here in town, and some of the incredible things that happened here at Festival Park. So, Sean, it's been a while since we've done a pod.
It has been. It's been a long time. A lot of life events have happened in that time. So I hope all of you can forgive me specifically. Had a baby in the time that we've had a.
Well, we're not going to forgive you for having a baby. We're going to congratulate you for having a baby. And his name is Max.
Yep. And he's as cute as can be. He's 7 months old now. So growing like a weed. My wife and I are in love with him. He's awesome. He's starting to crawl now, and it's crazy. Life is crazy as a dad. I don't know how people have done it.
Now, Max, being your first child, your newborn, he's actually part of the history of Festival Park, but in a unique way, right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about how Max's history is part of Festival Park.
Yeah. So in middle of COVID, it's 2020, August 2020, my wife and I, sorry, spoiler alert. I was asked out on a blind date. My friend set it up, who I grew up here with. He met this girl. She lived in Sedalia. But he met her when camping with his in-laws. And so he thought she was pretty cool. And so we set up a blind date. Now, middle of COVID, we decided to be responsible and do something outside. And so we actually had a picnic right over here in the grass. And that's where I met Amber. And Amber and I, we had a very, we were both kind of like in flux, as many people were during COVID. We were both sent home from school and just kind of, I was working. She wasn't. No, she did. She got a job at Sam's Club here in town, and I was doing low voltage, so I was helping people with their technology in their homes, and so we spent every minute together after that, and eventually, we decided that we wanted to get married, and so I set up an Easter egg hunt for my wife, and it went all over town, places where we had our first kiss. All sorts of stuff, kind of going backwards in time, which led us back to here, which is where I chose from. So over here, and I might even throw of me posing to my wife in this video. We'll see how I'm feeling.
That'll be great.
But over back here in this river area, there's this really pretty, it's not a river, it's a stream, but it's like they added stepping stones. And so I proposed to my wife in the middle of those stepping stones, and this is history.
So for all of our viewers, it's fair to label Sean as an absolute romantic. And that's one of the things that we share. So let's make sure we understand here. Your first date with Amber was here at Festival Park.
Yep.
You got engaged at Festival Park.
Yep.
Now, did you guys get married at Festival Park?
No, we're LDS. We actually got married in the LDS temple up in Denver. But probably should have done something here. So, but it was, yeah, our story is ingrained in downtown Castle Rock, right? Like we went on dates, getting ice cream down here all the time. We, obviously first date, engagement, this is where we come when we want to have a night on the town. I talk to people that have lived here a long time, and some of them, they used to go to Denver for that. They used to go to Denver to have a night on the town, which I don't want to do ever. Not that Denver's bad. It's just, it's got its problems, and Castle Rock is conveniently located when you live here. And we have this beautiful piece of our town that we get to enjoy. So
Well, the great thing about Castle Rock is you can have a night on the town in Castle Rock and be at some of the most incredible restaurants.
yep.
Have a great evening here, great entertainment options, which we'll talk about a little bit more later. But Sean, so your history is a little bit similar to my history. Julie and I, we didn't get engaged at Festival Park. We actually had one of our first more important dates at the Augustine Grill,
Okay.
which is now Wild Blue Yonder.
Right.
We got engaged at the Augustine Grill. We got married at the Augustine Grill. And we celebrated our first 4 anniversaries at the Augustine Grill. For our 5th anniversary, Julie did very much what you did and kind of took me around to the different parts of Castle Rock to celebrate different events or different dates in our history, because Augustine Grill had closed by then and Wild Blue Yonder was being constructed. After Wild Blue Yonder was finished, we then celebrated a later anniversary at Wild Blue Yonder. And they have much of the historical significance of Augustine Grill still there. But you're right. You can go out in Castle Rock, especially in downtown Castle Rock, for a night on the town.
Yep.
And it's like you, it is my favorite place. So back here to Festival Park.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about why Festival Park as a park is important to Castle Rock. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Here we are in downtown. Looks like we have a traffic events going on currently.
Or is it the fire truck?
Who knows? Where Sean and I are sitting right now, we're a block away from the firehouse, and we are literally right across the street from the police station. And we'll give the we'll give the fire truck a moment to go past. There it goes right there. You probably just saw it in the camera. And here comes an EMS truck. So thank goodness for the Castle Rock Fire Department and CRPD, again, right across the street, right over there. Rated one of the top fire departments and one of the top police departments in the entire country.
I'll throw this out about having them so closely located. In other places like Miami, for example, South Beach, they have to have patrols going down those beaches all the time because it's, they have to have a presence. Well, our police presence is right there. I was just talking to my wife's uncle's new wife, who's from Brazil, and I asked her how she felt in Castle Rock. They spent some time down here, and she just said she felt so safe. That's one of the things she loves about our country, right? Yeah. Being an immigrant here, she just feels so safe here, and it makes sense because it's like right there, like it's the headquarters of our police. And when I interact with Castle Rock police, I never feel concerned because they're all good people. And I know that our country has its own issues with police officers, but I can confidently say that generally doesn't apply in Castle Rock. So,
well, our police department, our fire department, they take the phrase serving our community very seriously. You, through your experience with Leadership Douglas County,
yep.
As have I, have gotten to know members of the police department, fire department. For me, 2 different police chiefs, our current police chief, and 2 different fire chiefs. And it really is amazing that the officers are part of our community. I've been rescued out of snowdrifts by the same officer twice in different winters. So it's almost like, Bernie, it's good to see you again. How'd you get into this? But no, we do have a great public safety system. And I believe that Castle Rock is rated nationally as one of the safest places to live and to work in the entire country.
Makes sense. I've never met anybody that's had ever even an inkling of that sort of thing happening here. It's just kind of not what goes on in Castle Rock.
It's part of why it's such a great place to live,
yep.
Great place to work. My office is a block away from here. I live about 5 minutes south of where we're sitting right now. I know Sean lives fairly close, but not only is Castle Rock rated one of the safest places to live and work, It's also rated one of the most popular places to live and raise a family in the country. So, all good stuff about Castle Rock. But let's bring it back to Festival Park.
Okay.
So when you grew up here, Sean, this place that we're sitting in, which is this it's called the crown jewel of downtown Castle Rock, which we'll talk about more in just a moment. But what did this look like when you were a kid?
So I actually have no recollection of what this looked like when I was a kid. I don't remember it, and that's probably a testament to exactly what it was, which was nothing. And it's funny because right across from us over here is Yolanda's Tacos, and I went there tons of times. That was my mom's favorite spot growing up, and it still is one of her favorite spots. My sister, who only lived here like a year, when she comes to visit, she goes to Yolanda's. And so I've been here many, many times. One would say hundreds, thousands, I don't know. But I don't remember anything of what this place looked like before.
So I'm going to see if I can help you out here. So when Sean was a kid, where we're sitting right now was actually kind of a dirt lot. And it wasn't much of anything. There was maybe a couple of old structures were here, but it really wasn't much. And then it went through a transformation, roughly, I don't know, 17 or so years ago. And we'll get the exact dates, all this stuff for you in our after materials that we'll post as part of the pod. But it became known as the Green Hill. And I used to call it Green Hill Festival Park. And there wasn't this beautiful gazebo, all of these structures that you see around us. It was just a grass area with a little green hill. The stream was still there. There wasn't that beautiful bridge area, all of the incredible amenities that we have today. But it was the Green Hill Festival Park. And we had concerts. And I remember coming with Julie to Christmas Eve services in the Green Hill Festival Park and sitting on the little green hill and enjoying Christmas Eve services. But that's really what it was. It was kind of a green, grassy area right in downtown Castle Rock. And do you remember that part?
I vaguely. Again, I mean, when we're talking, I moved here when I was 8 or 9. I was 9, and that was 18, almost 19 years ago. So, yeah, it's been a minute, and I was pretty young when they started renovating this thing. And by the time I was a teenager, I do remember this area specifically going through a lot of changes and being excited about it. I didn't know what was coming because I wasn't involved, but I knew that the changes were important.
Well, we'll talk a little bit about the changes. So we have this Green Hill Festival Park. It really wasn't much to speak of, but it was a park area here in downtown Castle Rock. And some very forward-thinking leaders in our community, primarily members of the Downtown Alliance. So that's the Downtown Development Authority, the Downtown Merchants Association, and the leadership in the town of Castle Rock got together and said, look, if we're going to have a world-class downtown, then a world-class downtown deserves to have a world-class downtown park. And so they put their heads together, and they had to raise a lot of money because the amenities that you see around Sean and I right now did not just fall out of the sky.
What?
Exactly right. So all the downtown businesses, members of the Downtown Merchants Association, members of the Downtown Alliance, everyone started kicking in, donating, town of Castle Rock, and a lot of money got raised. So before the pandemic hit, we'll get you the exact year that the new festival park that we're sitting in right now opened. This was opened to the town of Castle Rock. And this park, the new festival park that we're sitting in right now, has won several international awards for a downtown park. It's won national and international awards for an urban town center park. And it became what the town leaders and members of the Downtown Alliance were trying to achieve. And that was to have a crown jewel in the heart of downtown and a center in downtown that would draw people, families, travelers, and we have all sorts of amenities. I'm going to point over here. There's a splash pad for kids over there. there are 2 fire pits. I'm pointing at one to my left, your right. Over my right-hand shoulder, there's another fire pit back there. They incorporated the stream that Sean was talking about before, built an absolutely incredible bridge off behind us over here, and made this into what is really the crown jewel.
Yeah.
And we have some footage that we shot, I think it's now 2 years ago, at
Oh my gosh.
at one of the First Friday events, which is a concert. And the First Friday event for 2025 is a week from today.
Right.
And it's going to be a concert. This place will be packed with probably close to 1,000 or more people.
Yeah.
And Sean, talk a little bit about what this place is like when it's packed with people.
The cool thing about downtown Castle Rock is it really comes alive for these events. Right now, it's very peaceful, right? There's people that are meeting up for lunch, that picked up some coffee or whatever. There's families, people walking their dog. It's very relaxed, chill atmosphere. And when there's an event happening, like countless events that happen throughout the year, but specifically using a concert as an example, they transform this whole area. You're talking, there's a stage over here. There's like a dozen food trucks down, oh my gosh, what is this? Is this Perry?
So this is Perry
Yeah,
Street here.
on Perry, there's just so many food trucks. And this place, there's pop-up tents of little food stands or just businesses getting their name out there. I think ACC sometime, the Arapahoe Community College, the Collaboration Campus, has a little pop-up stand here. It's just like,
They'll even bring in adult beverages.
yeah, there's alcohol in spades. It's a party. Everyone's just celebrating. There's kids running around, and whatever your heart desires, you can have it. You can have a very classic traditional, whatever birria taco, and you can have nothing but cake, right?
Yeah, you can get a snow cone.
Whatever, and it's just awesome. There's the Dads of Castle Rock always has a booth, I think, and they always are. They have like fun toys that kids can buy, and it's a celebration of just being here. These concerts are just a big party.
And it's great because it's a real family
Yeah.
type park, and the concerts draw out families. Like Sean was saying, we always see kids dancing right up in front of the stage. Sometimes you see adults dancing as well, which is occasionally even more fun to watch than the kids dancing. And I've got to say, when Sean and I were setting up to shoot the podcast today, we had a young kid named Barrett.
Yeah.
And he came and he was showing off his remote control car or truck that had suspension. And we were going to try and get a shot of Barrett driving his car, but his mom told him it was time to go home. So we lost Barrett for our shoot today. But that kind of shows you the way Castle Rock in this park work, because Barrett just walked up to us and started talking.
Totally comfortable. He knew that anybody that's here is probably a pretty cool person. You don't run into people in downtown Castle Rock that are generally grumpy. It's just like, it's hard to be sad when you're in downtown, specifically in Festival Park, because it feels so curated, but at the same time, so like there's so much nature around, and it really does feel like a mountain town.
I'm going to add a word to your word of curated. To me, Festival Park is always joyful.
Exactly.
It always makes me smile to walk in here, to remember it being just the dirt lot.
Yeah.
And like, what the heck? And then we had the green grass Festival Park and what that was like. And then to see what it's been turned into.
Yep.
And the crowds that come out here and just people around. I've never seen more electric bikes than I've seen while we were setting up the podcast today.
Yeah.
And just sitting here is there's an electric bike store right over here. I'm not going to mention their name because they haven't become a sponsor yet, but there's just people walking around.
Yep.
We've got Town of Castle Rock, Parks and Rec people are doing some maintenance and some work. We've got the MW Golden folks across the street rebuilding that incredible little house right across the street from Festival Park. So there's always cool things going on.
Yep.
I mean, I'm going to point, you folks won't be able to see this, but I'm pointing right at the Emporium, which is another incredible spot. in downtown Castle Rock. And that's where we're sitting. We're sitting right in the middle
Yeah.
of all of these incredible things.
Yeah. The downtown Castle Rock has evolved a lot recently. If you're watching this and you haven't been to Castle Rock in a few years, you'd be pretty shocked if you showed up and came here to downtown. The 5/1 construction is a pretty common theme across America. It's where they have a base of concrete and then they build wood on top of it. And that base layer has all these awesome shops. So we have apartment buildings and condos throughout downtown. But then the nice thing is that base layer, again, is just really awesome little stores. This gelato place, it's Glacier Ice Cream. Fantastic.
I was just going to mention, as Sean started talking about these incredible little shops going in on the base layer, we've got an ice cream shop that it's crowded from the minute it's open until the minute it closes, and they have great ice cream.
Yeah.
We have some of the best pizza in America here in downtown Castle Rock. I'll mention a few. We've got Zabracci's, Granelli's, Scaleppi's, Slice Works. There's a new pizza shop that's going to open across the street. So we have endless pizza. We have, like Sean was talking about, incredible Mexican food with Yolanda's right here anchoring the park. We've got just a half a block down Dos Santos. We have a new restaurant called Bieni 2 a block away. This is food heaven.
Yeah. If you're a foodie, this is the place to go. And the cool thing is, like just right up the street, we have Ecclesia, which we're going to do an episode about that. So I won't focus too much. But this whole area, if, for example, you have a few people that are pretty specific on what they want to eat, and you just kind of all split up and get your own food and then come back to Festival Park, that's kind of what it's for, right? Maybe I want to go to Yolanda's, and I have a friend that wants to go get pizza, and I have a friend that wants a gyro, and I have a friend that wants whatever. There's places all around that have all those things. Right over here, there's a restaurant that we went to as the kind of rehearsal dinner for my sister-in-law's wedding, right? Like really upscale fancy restaurants and fast casual restaurants, and no fast food, but fast casual, right? So it's an amazing place.
It really is food heaven. And we would be remiss if we didn't remind people, a lot of people watch our podcasts. They're not from Castle Rock, but a lot of people know that Castle Rock has this rock. It's not really what the town was named after, but I'm going to point, that's the rock right there. The famous rock that Castle Rock is famous for. You can see it from a lot of different spots in downtown Castle Rock. You can see it from Festival Park. It like Sean says, it really is an incredible place to be in downtown Castle Rock. And I think the last podcast we shot, we weren't anywhere close to downtown. We were off doing our pickleball podcast.
Yeah, which was across the freeway.
That was over at Butterfield Park, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. There's no pickleball courts in downtown. There's not enough space, but that's okay. We'll forgive them. There's so much to do down here. Not really like a sporty park, I would say, but it's definitely the kind of leisurely enjoy your day, spend some time in the sun type of.
Well, when we did our episode over at Castle Rock Bike and Ski, and Mark Neal was talking about the runners and the cyclists and all the trails. Again, I'm going to point right over here. That's where the trail connects with the East Plum Creek Trail, one of the most famous paved trails in Colorado. The East Plum Creek Trail is approximately 13 miles long. The southern leg of it, which is 2 miles, runs from downtown Castle Rock all the way out to Crystal Valley Parkway. That's been closed as they've been building the Crystal Valley Parkway interchange. That reopens, and all of us are very excited who use that trail. That reopens tonight at 5 p.m.
Oh, really?
It does.
That's exciting.
It's very exciting that trail will reopen, and it's going to get cyclists off the streets, which we don't really like to be on. We'd prefer to be on the trails. So the fact that trail connects right here into Festival Park, again, part of the amazing foresight that was used when Festival Park, the new one that we're sitting in right now, was designed and built, was to connect directly with the trail system. So I'm looking just over here. We've got some people who rode their electric bikes into Festival Park and enjoyed some beverages and some food. They've got their helmets on. They're about to get back on their bikes. So cyclists come here, runners, walkers, really, while it's not a sporting park in the sense that we don't have tennis courts and basketball courts and pickleball courts, it's the heart of running central and cycling central for Castle Rock. And if you wanted to stop and grab something to eat from Yolanda's or Ecclesia or any of the other places that we've mentioned, people just bring it right here to one of the tables at Festival Park, and everybody's happy.
Yep. Just to give you a little bit of context, someday, I'm growing my business as fast as I can. Someday I'd like to have a location, and ideally it'd be a walking distance from here. For lunch breaks or meetings with clients or whatever, like, hey, let's take a meeting over at Festival Park. I just think that this is just such an elegant place to be. It's just unmatched. And of course, that's a dream of mine someday to achieve. And I hope that I can be, because Bernie, he's blessed to be part of all these cool organizations of downtown Castle Rock, especially because his office is just right up the road, that you get to participate in that. And it's a dream of mine to be able to also participate, because it's such a cool community project that everyone has kind of contributed to. And
I believe you're going to get the opportunity, so I think that will be in your future. It is amazing to have an office a block away from here. I know that people who work for me, when the weather is nice, will get lunch, come over and sit at Festival Park. To have this kind of amenity in a downtown where people work, and now where a lot of people live, is just incredible. Now I want to talk about something that happens in Festival Park every Wednesday. I don't know that you've been to one of these yet, but we have jazz in the park.
I have not been to jazz in the park. I've heard a lot about it. Unfortunately, my Wednesdays are booked every week. I have a recurring thing on my Wednesday nights, but something I should maybe convince people to check out.
Well, if you guys get the opportunity, Jazz in the Park is on Wednesdays here in Festival Park. The owner of Castle Rock Music, former town council member, is an incredible horn player, and he's got a jazz band, and his jazz band actually plays jazz here on Jazz in the Park on Wednesdays. It's absolutely incredible. We also have year-round events like the Fantastic Festival, which is a Halloween festival for little kids, is here in Festival Park. Boots and Brews, which is the concert, which happens after the annual fair parade in downtown Castle Rock. That's also in Festival Park. Once the weather turns nice, as it has now, you've got something going on almost every week in Festival Park.
Absolutely. It's funny because you'll be driving. I'm not even heading here, right? I'm going to meet with Bernie or whatever it is in downtown that I'm headed to. And I don't realize that there's an event going on, and you're just driving past. It's like, oh, dang it. I want to be there, because there's just hordes of people, tons of food trucks. There's music going on. If it's at night, kids are wearing glow sticks. If it's during the daytime, there's bubbles everywhere. It's just like, it's where you want to be. It's like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll just stop what I'm doing and come here instead.
And the great thing about all of that is if the redevelopment of Festival Park hadn't happened, you wouldn't see any of that.
Nope.
So what that redevelopment allowed, not only creating a crown jewel for downtown Castle Rock, it created an opportunity for the community to come together and enjoy events like that. So those things don't happen by magic. It took a lot of work, a lot of incredible hard work by members of the Downtown Alliance, people who work for the town of Castle Rock, many other stakeholders. And if we could take just a minute, Sean, and talk about the leadership model from Leadership Douglas County and how that's applied in Castle Rock. So Leadership Douglas County, which Sean and I haven't not had a big chance to talk to you guys about. We will, but not yet. That model is about collaborative leadership. And the idea is to get all the stakeholders together for any particular situation and figure out how to make that situation better for the community. Not for the community today, but for the community today and years into the future.
Yeah. It's this interesting combination of just the right people that can talk to each other and know how to communicate. And that's all everything is, right? Like, you can add complications, but every project is just people working together. And so I think that Festival Park is a representation of that, representation of our community making a choice, right? We could have put more businesses down here. This space could have been used by a whatever. And but instead, it's something that lifts everybody, because it's a happy place to be. It brings people to downtown, which lifts up the businesses, which eventually, all these things come together and elevates our living. So
it's absolutely true. And I remember some of the discussions, which were, if we want to have a thriving downtown, what are the kinds of things that we have in downtown to make it thrive?
Yep.
And one of those was a crown jewel urban park, which is what we're sitting in today.
Yep. So that's Festival Park. Awesome place to be. Come check it out. If you need a tour, reach out to us.
And Sean is probably the best tour guide at Festival Park you could ever imagine. Because remember, he met Amber here. That was their first date. They got engaged here. So long standing acquaintance of Festival Park, good friend of Festival Park, good friend of downtown Castle Rock. Now, Sean, as we conclude this podcast, let's talk a little bit about some of the upcoming pods that we're planning.
Sure. So I mentioned Ecclesia earlier. Ecclesia is a really awesome kind of I would say it's pretty historic for downtown, what it is, but then it's also just like a really cool place. I would say it's our little mini, if you've ever been to Pike's Place in Seattle, where it's like there's lots of shops and an old, anyway, really cool. We'll do a tour of there, maybe talk to the owners, talk to some of the stakeholders. Really cool place.
I think you'll enjoy that. We've got an upcoming pod planned for the Castle Rock History Museum, which is one of the coolest places I've ever been in.
Yeah.
It's roughly the size of two closets stuck together. So it's very, very small, but they've got so much incredible history for the town of Castle Rock, including some of my favorite things like Continental Divide Raceways display. A lot of people don't realize that one of the largest motor park raceways in the United States was here in Castle Rock years ago.
Yep.
So we've got Castle Rock History Museum. We're planning on doing our awards. We're going to award what Sean and I have picked as our favorite beer from one of our local breweries. We're going to do our favorite hamburger, favorite pizza. We might even do our favorite chicken tenders, favorite Mexican food. But we're going to do a number of pods from what are some of our favorite places to go, just to introduce you to them and show you some of the fun things that Sean and I like to do. We have a new library here in town. We always had the old library, but we have a brand new library. We're planning on an event or a podcast from there. So lots of fun upcoming pods that we have planned. We're going to try and record a little bit more often than we have in the past, now that Sean's son Max is a little bit older. And I'm taking a little bit more time off from work. So we've got some more time to bring you some more fun pods. And what we'd like you guys to do is in the comments below, obviously give us a like. If you like what Sean and I are doing, let us know, give us a like. But put in the comments things that you'd like to see us do a podcast about. If you've got a favorite area, a favorite activity, maybe a favorite restaurant.
Or an interesting person.
Absolutely. We'll interview anybody.
Yep.
And we have so far.
Yeah, we've already had some awesome interviews, and I really think that anytime anybody has something important to say, even if there's something upcoming that you feel is important, love to talk about it. And maybe it's something people need to hear about. So
talking about interviews, I'm going to challenge you on something.
Okay.
I know you just went through leadership Douglas County, a year ago? 2 years ago?
Yeah, depending on how you count. But yeah.
Okay, so you and I both know Chief Cawley, Jack Cawley.
Mhm.
One of the interviews I'd like to do coming up would be with Chief Cawley to understand why is the Castle Rock Police Department so highly regarded for community policing? Why are they so liked by the community? And how has Chief Cawley created this environment inside his force? And then I think we ought to do an interview with Chief Kroom, Norris Kroom, the chief of the fire department.
Yeah, that'd be good.
He's a great guy. I think those would be some fun things to do. And I'll
Absolutely.
tell you one of my favorite places to go. It's very somber, so it's not very difficult to call it joyful, but it gives me a great deal of peace and comfort. I think that we should, at least in passing, do something from the 9/11 monument.
Yeah.
Castle Rock is one of the few towns that has a 9/11 monument with actual steel that came from one of the Twin Towers. It's right outside the fire department. I'm pointing at it right now. I think our viewers would really enjoy seeing something about our 9/11 monument.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many gems we can show off. So
I think we're going to be busy.
yeah, we have unlimited content. So if there's something you want us to prioritize, I think is more important, let us know. And we can cover it. But I think that just about wraps up Festival Park. We love it here.
Sean, great to see you.
Yep.
So remember, here on Castle Rock Generations, we remember the past, embrace the present, and imagine the future. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.